Welcome to Dollars and Cents, Creating Your Fulfilled Life with Nicole Romito from Private Vista. In this podcast, we draw from years of experience as well as guest specialists to help you create the life you imagine. Join us in this journey as we enlighten and empower you to align your lifestyle to help you achieve your goals with a clear picture of your future. Now, let's get to the show.
And welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with your host, Nicole Romito. Nicole, I don't usually think of you as a bird brain, but that does have a particular.
And if you do, you don't say it out loud, which I appreciate.
But we do have birds on the table today.
We do have birds on the brain today.
Yeah, bird brains.
Yes. Well, I have one of everyone knows I love all my colleagues. So one of my super fabulous colleagues, Sue Bolt, in studio with me today. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy for you to be here as well. I'm looking forward to our conversation where we're going to talk about your very cool hobby of bird watching. And I really appreciate you taking some time out to kind of share what you do when you are not giving excellent service to not only the team at Private Vista, but I know we never have anything but rave reviews from clients who have the opportunity to interact with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to welcome in. Sue is one of our key client service associates. So many of our clients get get the privilege of getting to work with her, as do I. So thank you. But we're not going to talk about anything financial today, unless maybe there's some kind of, maybe we could talk about the birds that show up on the money. But other than that, we're going to talk birds, people. So why don't we kind of start off with, it's a fascinating hobby. How did you get into this?
Well, I've been interested in birds and nature since I was a little girl. My dad loved nature and we would go out all the time looking for things. And he was also a photographer for a hobby. So we would always go out photographing various nature items, and then we would come home and develop them ourselves in our dark room we had in our basement.
Oh, wow. That's going back. That you were dipping it in the solution and then hanging it from the clotheslines? That's awesome.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you still do that today, or are you
not.
more you're digital? Okay.
Digital,
Okay.
which is a great thing, because if I miss something, I have an opportunity to take it again.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to the photomat huts and being like, oh no, the bird flew out of the scene before I got it.
That's right. No more drive-through photomat. Mm-hmm.
That's great. So I love that you got into it with your dad, and also too, not only the bird watching, but then the photography as well. So it's like you were able to pair those two interests together. I love that.
Yes.
That's great. And then I do know, during COVID, I kind of feel like from talking with you, you kind of took it to the next level, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Had a little more time to dedicate to it. Certainly we were all trying to get out of our houses.
100%.
So do you have any experiences you want to share from during that period, or maybe how your hobby evolved or changed during that time?
Yes. As you said, looking for something to do outdoors, since that was the only thing we could do at that time. And my husband and I hung some bird feeders in our yard for visual entertainment at that time. And we were attracting, a nice array of yard songbirds, and I was trying to take pictures with my cell phone, that wasn't working so hot.
No.
So I invested in a camera, and then we started taking walks in the forest preserves around our home, and I started capturing things, and they were turning out pretty good. So I just became an obsession with me. To be honest, that was such a difficult time in all of our lives.
Yes.
And I'm a very social person, as you are. And it was very hard not to socialize and not to be around my colleagues and my children, my grandchildren.
Yeah,
so it was a very calming, peaceful thing for me to do, to walk in the forest. It's very peaceful and the sounds are very soothing to me. And it's much more enjoyable than going to a psychiatrist. So.
Yes, I agree. Less expensive as well. I mean,
less expensive.
Once we've amortized the cost of your fancy camera. But
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Sue, I thought, is that during that time when you finally saw your first bald eagle? Am I remembering correctly?
You're correct. My husband and I took a ride out to Starved Rock.
That's right.
Yes, and we looked all day for an eagle and did not find one. So left kind of disappointed.
Sure.
And as we were leaving and driving 60 miles an hour down the road, I passed the Illinois River and I saw one sitting on a stump. And I told my husband, I just saw one. So I quickly turned the car around and he thought I was nuts. And he followed me though. And there it was. And it just sat there like it was posing for me. So that was a great day.
Like, I'm going to wait for her. This is her day.
That was a great day.
Yeah. And I mean, for our listeners, I saw the photos. They're incredible. It looks like she was like 3 feet away from it. So it was amazing. So that I know was a key bird you had been hoping to capture. I believe you kind of keep a list, right, of the birds have seen.
I do.
Do you want to highlight maybe some of your like favorites you've seen, or some of the ones that were like these are the really hard ones to find, or whatever you want to highlight that have been key for you?
Sure. When I first started, like I said, during COVID in 2020, started looking for owls. And
Owls scare me. I'm going to derail for a second. Did you see that special miniseries about the staircase where they blame the owl on the wife's murder?
No.
Okay, you got to check that out. But anyways, we're back.
So I was looking at for owls, and I was really looking for the largest woodpecker, which is called a pileated woodpecker.
Oh.
And it took me 4 years to find both of them, but I found them, and it was a joyous moment. And it's funny because, like, once you find it, now I keep seeing them. You know what I mean? It was just like they were eluding me, and now
they're everywhere.
Yes. Yeah, not so much the pileated, but I've seen a lot of owls and a lot of different types of owls.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was it a certain, so you've seen, what are there certain owls that are more rare than others, or?
Yes. And there's still a couple that I haven't been able to find yet. So I'm always still looking for something, which is part of the joy of the whole thing.
Yeah. The hunt.
But great horned owl is probably the most common. And then I was so lucky to be able to see a long-eared owl.
Oh.
Down at Montrose Harbor by the lake in the winter. Owls are winter birds. So I was able to see that, and it was always joyous.
Oh, I want to see those pictures next time we're together.
I will show you.
All right, cool. And then I know, you mentioned locally, obviously, like in the nature parts of Chicago, the lakefront, we have lovely forest preserves.
Yes.
But I also know you've checked some birds off of the list with travel.
Yes.
I believe your most recent trip, or one of them, is you went to Hawaii, and you were fortunate enough to do that one with the grandkids.
Yes.
So maybe share, like, are you getting them interested in it? Like passing the tradition down? You got it from your dad. Now you're passing it down. I love the legacy of that.
Trying to teach them. 2 of my grandsons went to Hawaii with us, with my daughter and her husband and my husband. And we went to a beautiful rainforest there, and we got so many birds. And to be honest, because it was raining, drizzling, my glasses kept fogging up. So my grandson was my eyes, and he would be like, "Oh, here, Grandma, over here." So I'd wipe my glasses off quick, and I would get the photo. So we saw a lot of great birds in Hawaii. That was so fun. And just got back from Phoenix, Arizona, with a different set of grandkids, 2 grandkids, and that grandson is 7, and he was all over it. We went to a park, and he was like, "Grandma, over there." And there's a snowy egret. He was so cute. Yeah.
I love that he knows the birds. That's amazing.
Well, I showed him beforehand. We were looking at what we could possibly see at that location. And then he remembered, and he recognized it. So it brings my heart joy when that happens.
Absolutely. What a connection. And not only the connection you're having with your grandson, but also like especially in today's world, right? Where oftentimes we see the kids screen time, that you're getting them out in nature.
Yes.
So maybe, there's probably some screen time when you were doing the prep of here's what we might see, but then seeing it in real life and you guys are out there and you're walking around and that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So a couple of them are picking up on it and I love that.
That is great. What birds have continued to elude you so far that are on your list to see?
There are some. There are a couple of owls that are pretty elusive. The barn owl and the little northern saw-whet owl, which is really the smallest owl. It's a teeny tiny guy this big. So
I want one. I want to put it in my pocket.
Yeah. So, and some of the warblers and songbirds, there's migration twice a year. There's spring migration and then fall migration. So during those times, I'm out trying to grab these little stinkers, but they're super quick. And I'm getting older, so I'm not super quick. But
the grandkids, this is where the grandkids come in.
That's right.
You got to put like a GoPro on them and just have them run around, right?
That's right. But so like I said, if I've seen everything, it would be still fun, but not as rewarding as looking for something and then actually finding it. Yeah. I've had a lot of moments by myself in a forest and I'm like, because there it is right in front of me, And sometimes I take pictures of birds and I don't even know what they are till I get home. And I download the photos and put them into various apps that you can identify birds.
That's what I was going to ask, if you don't know or where you're doing your research, what maybe some apps you want to share with our listeners who either are trying to get into bird watching or looking for some new resources?
The one I use the most and it's free is called Merlin. Merlin is a type of raptor. It's a small hawk, and that's the name of the app. And you could just choose your photo from I download all my photos onto my phone and then take them from there, and it'll identify it in like 2 seconds. So there's so many warblers that look so similar, except one has a white ring around its eye, one has a black feather right there. Oh, wow. One, so you just throw it in the app and it's like, oh, you just saw a Connecticut warbler or whatever, and you're like, okay, great, add to my list.
All right, cool. How about, as you mentioned a couple of the owls, I know you saw the eagle. What about, let me think here, any trips that are on your bucket list that would involve, I know you mentioned the migration. So certainly I think being in the middle of the country, you probably get we get good exposure to the migratory paths.
Yes, 100%.
But is there anywhere where you would need to travel to see some of your must-see or hope-to-see birds?
Well, I have been out west a couple of times, and that was very enjoyable. And there's still so many birds to see out west that are different than here. But
is that kind of more like the desert birds, or not necessarily?
Yes, I have seen a roadrunner, and
oh my God, that's amazing.
Those types of birds, yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you, it was very, very, very hot in Phoenix when I was just there, and so that kind of precluded us a little bit from going out so much. So I'd like to go when it's not 102 in the shade. But actually, you inspired me when you went and saw the blue-footed boobies.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So for our listeners, I don't think I've talked about it, but Sue, I shared it with Sue because it's a big bird paradise. I was fortunate to go on a trip with my dad to the Galapagos Islands. And I know Sue was like, let me see all your pictures of the blue-footed boobies. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you go there because I enjoyed it, and I am not a birder like you. And it was still just amazing.
Yeah.
So you should keep that on the list for sure.
Costa Rica is another huge birding place.
Yes.
So somehow I'd like to get there. And Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact, there are penguins in the Galapagos, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're the second smallest species. They're cute little buggers. But I was shocked. I'm like, we're on the equator and there's penguins. And they're super friendly. I went snorkeling and literally they just swim all around you. They were like fun. Nose to nose with me. Yeah. So that would be really fun for you to be up close and personal.
For sure.
Well, good. What about, I feel like you've given us a kind of a good flavor. Anything else you either want to highlight, or if any of our listeners, maybe they're just like, I've always thought about this. How do I get started? Do you have any tips of like how you kind of dip your toe in?
Well, there are a lot of great field guides out there. If a listener isn't into an app or whatever, and just go out, and we have such wonderful forest preserves around the area.
We really do.
Yeah, and most of them are very well kept and safe. I try to be really careful not to go into these deeply wooded areas by myself if I'm not familiar with the area.
Yeah, that's
so
a really good point.
I'm always careful with that. Or I'll go with somebody.
Right, yeah.
But I would just say to just go out and experience it, and you have to stop and listen and look. Sometimes we're just walking along and you just walk right past things. You really just need to keep your eyes open and look, and you'll be amazed what's around you that you probably didn't even realize was there.
I love that. I think that's just great advice in general, right?
Yes.
I know when I
We're
like
always
to walk.
in a hurry.
We are. We're always in a hurry, or we're always like, oh, I got to listen to one more podcast, or I'm going to listen to voicemail, or I'm going to call Sue while I'm walking. It's more just, I try to, even when I'm just walking around, leave the headphones at home and even though I'm in the city, it's still listening to the sounds or being aware of kind of like you said, there's nature everywhere, and it is such a great mental health. It's so restorative.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
If I have a busy day at work and it gets a little stressful sometimes.
Just here and there.
Just here and there. I'll just go home and grab my camera, and I told my husband I'll be back. And I just pick a place maybe with a lake, and I just walk around it, and I'm gone for an hour, and I come back and I'm a different person.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you said you wanted to do your favorite bird call to close out the episode.
Did I say that?
That's what I heard.
I don't recall that. I'm actually not the greatest at bird calls.
No.
That Merlin app also has a feature where you turn it on, you can hit sound ID, and it'll start recording, and any birds that are singing in the area, it picks them up and identifies them for you.
Okay. We'll make sure to put the name of that app in the show notes for our listeners.
Okay. Yes, I will. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Well, Sue, I appreciate. Oh, sorry, Bill. Go on.
No. I was just going to say, for those who are listening and aren't familiar with the app, the Merlin app is actually out of Cornell University. It's out of the ornithologist there, and it's a great app. It's really
does a lot of stuff.
No, I know, it is amazing. If you're standing in the woods and you hit listen, it will tell you all the birds that are singing around you in the forest.
Yes. And then you're frantically looking for them. Where?
Oh, my God.
At least I am.
At least Sue is, right?
No, yeah, of course you are. Of course you are.
Yeah. She's pushing kids out of the way.
Get out of the way, kid.
Right? She's like, I've already seen a road runner. Get out of here.
No, that's not was it. But, it's funny, too. The other thing I want to add, Sue, is I think it's great you got your grandkids involved because I have two grandsons who live not far from me, and their mom is a bird watcher and really into birds. And it's amazing the information and knowledge about nature that she has been able to just transfer to them because it's just a naturally passionate thing for her. It's not like an educational thing. It's it's just a natural, passionate thing about nature. And it's weird to have, 7-year-old and 4-year-old kids look up at me and tell me what bird they're hearing.
Isn't that great?
It's weird and it's wonderful. It does bring a certain joy. It really does.
It does.
It really does.
I'm very happy. Some of my grandkids are loving it. There's some that aren't not so much. It's kind of too slow for them and too quiet. But some of them I can tell are really picking up on it, and I love that.
Yeah. Some grandkids like to kick a soccer ball, and some grandkids like to listen to the sounds of the forest.
That's right.
Both good things to do.
Absolutely.
All good.
Yeah, Nicole, so thanks. This was a fun episode. I really enjoyed this.
I agree.
I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
Well, and Sue, this is cool. I wish you find every bird you're looking for. Or maybe I should do this. I wish you every bird you're looking for except for one, so that you've always got something to look for.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yes. I'll never find them all, but it sure is fun to try.
The one I would love to see is the snow owl. I've never, owls have been very elusive. You saw a snow owl? Oh, my word.
Last winter, I saw
Was
one.
it as
yes.
majestic
Here,
as I think it
locally?
is?
It was in, where was it? In McHenry.
Oh, okay.
Yes. This was a young male,
Mm.
a first-year male, and he was just beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really something. Another moment.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is cool. So, Nicole, if people are listening to this podcast and they're thinking, well, okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'd like to have a bird conversation with Nicole.
No, I'm going to transfer you to Sue.
Please.
Yeah, I would say, Sue, if you don't mind, if people are like, have some follow-up questions or whatnot, what would be the best way for listeners to get in touch with you?
Oh, they can just call me at Private Vista.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to give the general number?
Sure. You can reach me at 630-455-0600. That's the main number for the Oakbrook office, and I actually answer that. So,
Perfect.
yes. I wanted to mention one other thing I didn't mention, and
Sure.
for my birding friends that watch this, I have met the nicest people along this journey.
Ah, yes.
They fellow birders and people who are like me, just trying to not lose your mind and be out in the forest. And I've made some of the greatest friends, and now we go on little excursions together, and meet up at places. We're all looking for the same thing. And, it's been great to make friends like that. And they're different ages, different walks of life. I'm the oldest always, but they're just wonderful people, and they're very knowledgeable, and they're great photographers. So we all learn from each other, and I love that part.
I love that too. And thanks for sharing that, because I do know as we get further along in the life cycle, some friends, may exit our life for various reasons and things like that. And I know it does get harder. Like, where do you meet new people? Right. So I love that it's organic. You're out in nature. It's something you guys already have in common. So that's a really great, I think, thing to end on. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks again. Nicole, if they want to get a hold of you, do they follow the same procedure, or how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, they can certainly to get a hold of Sue or I, if you prefer to do it online, you can go to the Private Vista website, and on our homepage, there's a contact us button. Just put in your information there. If you want to talk to me or if you want to talk to Sue, reference this episode, and certainly one of us will get back to you in short order. So that's another way to get a hold of us. And then also too, if you call the same number that Sue referenced, you can just ask to be connected with me, and she certainly will be able to do that.
Yep. Those numbers and everything will be in the show notes, as will the website.
Yes.
So, if you're listening to this and can't write it down now, you can go back and check later. Not a problem. The other thing I would encourage you to do is, if you are not a subscriber, to hit the follow button. Because when you do that, every time a new episode is released, you're notified, and you can give that one a listen as well. And as always, I would ask that you share this podcast. I'm assuming you liked it because you listened to it. So if you would tell others about the podcast, we would very much appreciate it, as word of mouth recommendations are really invaluable. So until next time, I'm Bill Tucker on behalf of Nicole and everybody at My Private Vista. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Dollars and Cents Creating Your Fulfilled Life with Nicole Romito, sponsored by Private Vista. Visit our website at www.myprivatevista.com or give us a call at 312-831-4370. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Private Vista is a group comprised of investment professionals registered with Hightower Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Advisory services are offered through Hightower Advisors, LLC. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities. No investment process is free of risk, and there is no guarantee that the investment process or the investment opportunities referenced herein will be profitable. Past performance is neither indicative nor a guarantee of future results. The investment opportunities referenced herein may not be suitable for all investors. All data or other information referenced herein is from sources believed to be reliable. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other data or information contained in this presentation is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Private Vista and Hightower Advisors, LLC, or any of its affiliates make no representations or warranties expressed or implied as to the accuracy or completeness of the information or for statements or errors or omissions, or results obtained from the use of this information. Private Vista and Hightower Advisors, LLC assume no liability for action made or taken in reliance on or relating in any way to this information. The information is provided as of the date referenced. Such data and other information are subject to changes without notice. This was created for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed herein are solely those of the authors and do not represent those of Hightower Advisors, LLC, or any of its affiliates.